So, good afternoon, Mr. Faust. How are you doing today?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing well, thanks. So, thank you for coming here, and thank you for being very timely. So, I wanted to talk a little bit about how what I saw the last time I was in there, which was just yesterday. Okay? And so, the goals that you are on track for is high quality work. Okay? Your CFS is clear. You have really close to 100% of your scholars who are working, and then 75 to 80% of them were all meeting the CFS. Do you think you had that, or do you think you had a different amount?
I think my only critique of that view would be and I think you can correct me, I think you came in like maybe right when a whole class reset was starting.
So about the morning or afternoon?
I don't remember.
Because in the afternoon I caught a good amount of the class. Because in the morning I came, I think during a whole class reset.
Yeah, there's a lot of problems with comprehension in this. So I think if I remember right, in the afternoon, they had some, I would rate myself maybe a little lower, just because they had the do now time, and like they weren't quite meeting expectations. But I think some of that was due to like comprehension gaps.
Gotcha.
In the text. So then once we started going over a whole group, we had 100% focus, but again, ideally I think we'd want that comprehension to be there without like full guidance. Okay.
So what have you been doing to give yourself a 1 in this category? What I saw was a 1. So what steps have you taken?
I think trying to stress the importance of like everyone together, knowing when the class needs to be working as one group, and then when the lesson is okay for a student to work ahead if they finish early or things like that.
Okay. So the goals that you're off track for in specific, urgent, and aligned to CFS, you earned a 0.5, but that's not something that we've gone over yet.
Okay.
All right. Communicates and reinforces top quality work and expectations. That was a 0. That's something we're going to work on today. And response to data was a 0. None of the school has gone over that. So we're seeing 0s frequently. But once we go over that in a PD, once you and I discuss it in one of these meetings, or even Kohler, possibly, that will pick up. All right? So let's take a look at today's goal. All right? So it's my goal to make sure you win on every one of these goals. So today we're going to spend our time working on an action step that will help you win on these goals. Okay? I want to help you improve your feedback today. So let's take a look at our action step. If we communicate the focus for our feedback after we named the CFS, and I just want to think about that for a second. CFS, and then the focus of our feedback, right? The CFS provides that. It'll help reiterate the criteria for students, as well as ensure that we're fixing one thing at a time, which to me is like a win-win situation. You scholars got to work on one thing at a time, and I have to look for one thing at a time instead of looking for everything at once. Then I'm stuck on one student, and who knows what's going on around me. Okay? So, we're going to take a look here. Now, how might planning and executing specific laps of feedback support students in improving the quality of their work? Want me to ask that again?
Yeah.
So when you are going to plan and execute specific laps for your feedback. All right,
Okay.
so we're gonna work on being a little more intentional about the route you take throughout the room for each of the classes. That's why we have the lesson plan or
Yeah.
seating charts.
Yeah.
Okay, so if your laps are more intentional, how is that going to support students improve the quality of their work?
Hopefully time management would probably be a big thing.
Say more.
If I have my route planned, I might feel more conscious of the timing, so I spend less time at the beginning and I get more time for other people at the end.
Okay, that's very interesting you say it that way. All right, I'm liking this. Why do you say less time at the beginning?
Because you want it to be distributed more evenly.
Okay, all right, this is great. So research is showing that teaching kids how to monitor their own learning is one of the best strategies we can equip them with to improve their learning, right? I mean, if you're a baseball coach and you teach a kid how to swing a bat, and then he can, or she, can monitor it themselves, they can coach themselves, your work is like 70% done.
Yeah.
Okay? So, if we want to teach them to get meta about the work they do, we need to clearly name for them what criteria they should be showing you and what criteria they should be looking for themselves in their work, and then help them prioritize each of those criteria as they work through the feedback. All right, so that's why you're going to do one at a time, one for each lab. Okay? So now you have seen this video before, but I want to take a look at it again, especially because, can you see that?
Mm-hmm.
Good, because we're getting ready to talk about this, and we're gonna, you know, I'm gonna let you do that. We're gonna discuss this, and as you watch the video, I want you to think, what does she say and do that makes her feedback effective to the scholars? And what impact do you think she's having on student work?
Next, I'm coming around to check your name it and your chunked evidence in the first body paragraph. I'm going to give you a check if you get it right. I'm going to give you a circle if there's something you need to fix. I'll give you an R if you need to reread next to a paragraph. 100% of pencils move in 3, in 2, and in 1. Got it, Cody? You just state the evidence when you end the sentence.
Can you pause that for a second?
Here, you're going to assume.
This was kind of quick, but when she said 3, 2, and 1, what did she do?
Immediately give feedback to Cody, I think his name is.
You got it, Cody. And from where did she do it?
I didn't see.
She was right there in the front. She didn't move. So she took a few seconds to scan and to narrate that compliance. That's kind of her compliance lap, even though it wasn't an actual lap.
Yeah.
All right, okay, good.
Man, on the specific word in the evidence that you want to. Got it? Just stick to this for the name. Team, no questions right now. I'll be around to see you in a second. One second, sweetie. This is the perfect name it. Your evidence is incorrect. Go back to the first paragraph and pull out the imagery that you see. Then I'll come back. Yes. Name it. I'm going to come back in 5 seconds for you to see that sentence. Roach's swarm is good. I need a bigger chunk of evidence. That's what you'll want to zoom in on. Your name it and your evidence is perfect, Joanne. Keep up the great work. It's not Dasani describing this, the author, but this name it and this evidence is exactly the same as mine. Great job. Great, we're seeing a name a technique. Statistic is not what I'm looking for. Reread paragraphs 1 and 2 and name that technique. You need to name it. What's happening in the middle of the story? Tell me a technique. Right now, you guys are not naming the technique. You need to name the technique that Andrea
Just think
Elliott
about what
is
she's
using.
doing here
Reread
now.
paragraphs 1 and 2 to help you. I'm coming around to check a few of your revisions here before you go any further. Is your revision? Yes, great job.
Okay, good. All right, so, Mr. Faust, what did you see? What does Maya say and do that makes her feedback effective?
I think after enough of like the same feedback, she realizes it needs to be a whole group, like redirection.
The batch feedback and the front.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What else did you see from her? Think about her pacing.
She was quick with each kid, moving on. She didn't stop for questions.
Right, the first one. She popped her head up, saw that the one young lady, I think, had a question.
Yeah.
Not yet.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Now, I tell you, well, I'll get to that in a minute. So, what impact do you think she had on the scholars' learning?
The energy was focused and deliberate, and it was clear that they had like a certain amount of time to complete the focused work.
You know, and one thing too, it's like positive narration for the scholar who's off task. It's like she's coming up to you and talking about one thing, then she's going to the guy behind you and talking about the same thing, going to the girl next to you, the girl in front of you. So even though she's talking to you, they're catching it. And then you're probably hearing her say the same thing to the other three of them. So if you didn't, you know, some of us don't always catch things immediately, right? So if you have a scholar who doesn't catch things immediately, maybe he's hearing a similar thing like 3 times.
Yeah.
Okay? The thing I want to criticize her on is that after she spoke with the first scholar,
Mm-hmm.
she popped up and saw, okay, put your hand down, we'll get to it later. Tell me if I'm wrong, I didn't see her, like, she went from kid to kid and she was bent over. When she was walking backwards, she didn't pop her head up. She didn't have to narrate, because that's going to take time.
Yeah.
But at least scan, at least if anybody's looking, hey, I'm looking too. So I see you, so get that head back down. So she should have been seen looking a little bit. Okay? So now, I'm going to take a look at this lesson plan.
Mm-hmm.
Now that you've seen what she's done, before we get to that, this is like super important. What do you think our action step is going to be?
Feedback loops?
Feedback loops. Say more about that.
Pre-planning, maybe what to say for 2 loops.
Okay, yes, and remember, we're going to we're going to name the monitoring laps, and we're going to get to 90% of the classroom. Okay? This is, of course, after, and you do a nice job of naming your CFS at the beginning. Okay, so you're going to name your CFS, you're going to name that your monitoring laps, and then you're going to get 90% of the classroom in an intentional way. Okay, so let's take a look at this. Now, seen the model, we've named the criteria, we've got the action step. So, the action step is to plan and execute the feedback labs. You're going to maximize the feedback you'll give on student work. First thing we're going to do is create and implement a monitoring pathway. So what you're going to do is get the strongest scholars first, and then after you get the strongest scholars, you're going to get to the scholars who need more support. Okay? There's 2 reasons. One, the strongest scholars are like a barometer.
Mm-hmm.
So if you see that your 3 or 4 strongest students are making mistakes or don't understand exactly what you said to them, and it's a good indicator the rest, a lot of them don't.
Yeah.
So then you might have to go back and give that batch feedback, or present your directions in a different way. Second thing is having this pen in your hand at all times. You can just give them a check or a minus or a circle or whatever your symbols are. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whatever your code is, so that you can just, I know Faust is going to get this, and Faust got it. Good job. And the guy behind Faust, I know, okay, good, got it. So that saves a lot of time, and it's kind of like what you said before. This is why I got excited about what you said. You said saving time in the beginning, so that when you save time with your high flyers, so to speak, so that when you get to the end and you're with the strugglers, you have a little more time. Okay? And again, you're going to name the lap. When I come around, I'm looking for you using the word avocado.
Yeah.
Okay? Or I'm looking for using 2 of the 5 vocabulary words. All right? And then urgent feedback. Try to get to 2 or 3 scholars a minute.
Okay.
All right? And avoiding the rabbit holes. So like having one thing you're looking for keeps you from the rabbit hole. And if you're getting like 3 scholars a minute, that's like 20 seconds per conference. 20 seconds sounds quick. But I mean, if you and I sit here and stare at each other for 20 seconds, that's going to feel like a long time, right? Okay, so before we practice this action step, let's reflect on each of these criteria. Okay? So which of these do you think you'll be most effective with? And if you're thinking more than one, you can say more than one.
I'm a little overwhelmed right now.
Okay, that's cool.
What I'm thinking, what I'll be best at in like my pre-planning?
Or during class.
Oh, okay.
During the actual lesson, while you're actually doing these laps.
I think annotating their paper, like a checker, would be an easy step to start with. I think I like that idea a lot.
That urgent feedback.
Yeah.
Okay. And then remember, there's also creating and implementing the pathway, which is pretty much what you're going to do, beforehand, and then naming the lap. All right? So, I mean, how do you feel about naming the lap? Because I think that that's something that you're doing.
Yeah.
So, the lap, naming the lap, and the feedback, I think are strengths of yours.
Okay.
I think that those are 2 things you're going to go in right away. And then, what do you think you'll need to work on the most?
Probably, I guess the timing would be the thing I need to work on the most.
Okay. When you say that, do you mean like making sure you're hitting 2 to 3 kids?
Kid and there's a few kids I know who like give up very easily, so it makes me nervous to kind of like give quick feedback and move on, but it's important too, so. Because
remember, you can always come back.
Yeah.
And actually next week, we will talk about that, okay, Faust, here you're doing this well, you didn't do this, so I need you to do this, I'll be back to check. So that's going to give them that reassurance that, okay, Mr. Faust ain't leaving me.
Yeah.
He wants me to do the work, but at some point Mr. Faust will be back, and then of course you have your data, they got to go back to Kemet, go back, or whatever. So I totally get that, but you can tell them you'll be back. Work on it, I'll be back. Okay? So how do you feel about creating and monitoring the pathway, trying to hit the high flyers first?
I think that's a good idea.
Okay, now just thinking about, who did you have last, Malone?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you think about those folks, so why don't you put an X next to your highest flyers? You say Ethan, Jayla. How about this fella? I know he's a pain in the neck, but he's a pretty bright kid.
He is. He has a really low grade in my class.
Does he really?
I think looking at some of his assessments, I don't think he's picking like outlier answers, like ones that I think are obviously wrong for some of them.
Okay.
So I think with him, it's like about reading stamina.
Okay.
And like I think if you talk something out with him, he'd get it quickly. But I think he's not committed to like the reading, independent reading. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But I think I would probably put him like middle or high middle because he can do well. It's like more about consistency. But John would probably be my third highest.
I would think so, yeah. So, what does he fall in there, or is he?
He's another one that he gives up really, really easily. And
okay.
like for me, like he does not like reading, so he doesn't do the reading to get the comprehension.
All right.
But like me and Marquino have talked about, like he is very bright. I don't know if he's just convinced that he can't do it, or I don't know.
Okay. So, how does it sound then that you hit Jayla first, then you skip over here to these two, and then your path is pretty much set for you?
Circle. Yeah.
Yeah, because you can hit Ethan and John.
Yeah.
And you got these two, come back here. Or, now thinking about it this way too, okay, so you're going to be right. So are there any of these scholars, just say Janae, just to have an example, is she one that you would say to yourself, if I get to her too quickly, she's not going to have anything on, she's not going to have anything
good.
written on the paper.
I feel like maybe these ones are my slowest to write.
Okay. So these might be the ones you want to hit last, just to give them time.
So I'd probably start here, move here, go here, then hit these two on the, like start on this half of the table, go there, and then go here.
All right, and that's great too, because look, where they're seated, as you're walking, you can peer at them. You can see them.
Yeah.
So that's a great pathway. That's really good work. Okay, so what we're going to do now, I'll give you a minute and a half if you need it. But I want you to name the pathway. I want you to think about naming that pathway and then giving feedback to 4 students. So this is today's lesson. All right. So think about the feedback that you gave, or even the feedback that you plan to give.
All right.
Do you need time to prepare that, or would you like to dive right in?
I'll rewrite some.
Okay. And I want you to think about 4 scholars. Okay. There's student A, B, C, and D. So student A is on track with the first lap. Okay? Student B skipped a step that you named. Okay? So A on track. Student B skipped a step. Student C not started. And then student D also skipped. So you're giving feedback to these 4 scholars. I'll give you a minute and a half to write that. do you want to use this to write it on, or are you good with what you
I
got?
can use this. Thank you.
You're welcome. Is 20 more seconds good? Or do you need more than that?
Maybe 30.
Okay. Okie doke.
Okay.
All right, so Mr. Faust, you want to stand over here. All right, so here's what you're going to do. You're going to name the feedback. You're going to name the CFS. You're going to name the CFS that you're looking for in this lab. Okay? Then I'm going to be all four students, and I'll tell you who I am.
Wait,
Before
can you tell me
you-
the difference between naming the lab and naming the criteria for success?
There is none.
Okay, okay.
So basically, what you did was in your MVPs, you said, when you answer this question, you need to have A, B, and C.
Okay.
Okay? First lap, I'm looking for A. So you're not looking for all three at once.
Yeah.
Then the next lap, you'll be looking for B. If you do a third lap, you'll be looking for C.
Okay.
I mean, sometimes you might be looking for B and C in the second lap.
Yeah.
But at least in the first lap, you're looking for
Everyone
one
should
thing.
be done.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, don't forget, after you name what you're looking for, stay there. Narrate 3 for compliance.
Okay.
Okay. Go.
All right. You can, if you want. That's like a copy of it. All right. We are about to start our independent practice. On my first lap around the room, I'm going to be looking for students to be looking at their social factors list and writing any from the list that could have contributed to James' death. So I should see you either looking on page 4 or writing down any of those ideas that contributed to James' death. You have 3 minutes for my first lap. Go. Fiore is writing. Bryce is looking at that social factor list. Jayla's using the social factor list and writing down some ideas.
Student A is on track with the first lap.
Student A is on track with the first question. I can see 3 social factors they have that might have caused James' death.
Student B skipped a step that you told us to do.
Student B make sure you look back at the list. Right now you only have one. You need to find any social factor that could have contributed to James' death.
Okay, student C, just wait.
Student C, do you know where the social factor list is?
No.
Alright. Okay. Here is each social factor. Not all of them have to do with James's death. You write down the ones that have to do with James's death.
Okay. Thank you. Student C is missing part of the first letter. D is missing part of the first letter.
Student D, make sure you start this before you do here. This. We're listing out all of these here.
Mm-hmm.
Then you can list the specific characters you think might be at fault.
Okay. And C. All right. Now, when it comes to this action step, what's your biggest takeaway from this quick live demonstration that you and I have done? That you have done, really?
I think having some tangible things to help kids with might be best, whether it's annotating the question
Mm-hmm.
or going to a specific page in the book, so it's very clear to you and to the kids who's getting started.
Okay.
That's my takeaway.
All right. Now, I want to be real clear about this. Please try not to be so focused on me, but being focused on the kids, like you just said, so it's clear to the kids.
Yeah.
And again, if it's not clear to me, okay, fine. If it's got to be clear to the kids, though. That's what you and I are both working towards. Is it clear to the kids? All right. So I will be in on Tuesday, and I will come at the beginning of a class. I don't know which one yet. I'll come at the beginning of a class, and I'll stay long enough so that I could see one or two of these.
Okay.
All right? All right, Mr. Faust, thank you so much. I hope I didn't overwhelm you too much.
Yeah.
I know
I get really overwhelmed by this, but it talking out does help.
It does. And is there anything I need to do? Do I need to slow down or?
I think it's just a lot of steps, and it's it feels like it's kind of oh, here's one thing you're not doing well, but we haven't done that yet. Oh, here's another thing you're not doing well, but we haven't done that yet. Oh, but it just feels like a lot of
Am I throwing a lot at you at once?
I think it's the program a little bit more than you. I think you are doing it in a way that I think you're helping me internalize it well.
Is there anything let's say when I'm delivering your scores,
Yeah.
is that something you would like me to do possibly in an email beforehand?
No, I like talking it out with you.
But then we could talk it out at the beginning, but at least I'm giving you some reflection time instead of saying, here's your scores, talk about it, move on. Would that?
No. I like doing it together.
Okay.
I do. I feel like I might stew if they came and then it was I didn't know why something was happening or things like that.
Okay. Well, if I did give you your scores, I wouldn't just say, here's your scores, have a nice day. I would go into a little more detail.
Okay.
So, but you let me know if that's something you would like, or you just want to keep it like this. So.
Yeah, I'm liking this so far. It's just, I think the program is a lot, but I am liking working through it with you.
All right. Well, I do appreciate that. And if there's anything more I could do to be of assistance, or anything I could do differently to be of assistance, do not hesitate.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Faust. Thank you so much. Have a great dismissal.
You too.
It's 28 degrees outside. It's going to be cold dismissal.